This lesson begins our unit on conic sections. There are 4 different conic sections. They're called conics because they can be cut from cones or 2 cones put together. If you go straight across, you form a circle. If you don't go straight across, you go in at an angle, you get an ellipse. If you only go through half the cone, you get a parabola. And if you go perpendicular to the bottoms of the cone, you get a hyperbola, which is the 2 parabolas. We're going to start with circles in 9.1a. This right here is the standard form of a circle, where your center is always at HK. Notice that in here it's minus H and minus K, so you will always want the opposite when you write the center. And the radius. At the equal sign, it gives you r squared, but you want to make sure you take the square root of that to get r by itself. A circle that is at the origin would look like this. It has no h and k, they're both zeros. Okay, the point 1, -2 is on a circle whose center is at -3, -5. Write the standard form of the equation of the circle. To write the equation, I need to know my h, my k, and my r. The center gave me my h and my k, but I don't know my r. What I do know, conics is very picture dependent. Most always, I draw a picture to solve the problem. So -3, -5, here's my center. It goes through the point 1, -2. So if that's the center, it goes through this point. It's something like this. What I need to know is what is this distance right here. So we're going to use our distance formula, or you can think of it as the Pythagorean theorem. If I'm going from, let's see, this is -3, -5. This is 1, -2. Then I've got a distance of, from -3 to 1, that's a distance of 4. From -2 to -5, it's a distance of 3. So I know that my hypotenuse has to be 5, which is my radius. So plugging into standard form would be h plus, not h, would be x plus 3, quantity squared, plus y plus 5, quantity squared, equals my radius squared, which would be 25. Okay, this one is not given to us in standard form. We want to sketch the circle, identify its center and radius. I've got my x's together, my y's together. I need to put my constant on the other side. X squared minus 2x plus y squared minus 4y equals 4. And then I'm going to complete the square with each of these. When I complete the square for the x's, parentheses, x, half of this number, so -1, squared, always minus the square of whatever I put in here. 1 squared is 1. Now I'm going to do the same for the y's. Plus y, half of -4 would be -2, quantity squared, minus 2 squared is 4, equals 4. Add 1, add 4. X minus 1, quantity squared, plus y minus 2, quantity squared, equals 9, which means my center is at 1, 2, HK. My radius is the square root of 9, which is 3. And it did say sketch, so over here to the side, 1, 2, radius of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 in all 4 directions gives me a sketch of my circle. Find the x and y intercepts of the graph of the circle. If I'm looking for the x-intercept, I'm setting y equal to 0. So x plus 2, quantity squared, plus, would be negative 1 squared equals 10. X plus 2 squared plus negative 1 squared is 1. Subtract the 1. X plus 2, quantity squared equals 9. Get rid of that square by taking the positive and negative square root, so positive negative 3, and subtract 2. So x is going to cross at. Positive 3 minus 2 would be 1, and negative 3 minus 2, negative 5. To get the y-intercept, I'm setting x equal to 0. So 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 10. 4 plus y minus 1 squared equals 10. Subtract the 4. Y minus 1 squared equals 6. Y minus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 6. Y equals positive 1 plus or minus square root of 6.